First up, we have just spotted a new gold perk. So those of you guys that use Robinhood, I know some of you guys like to buy and sell your crypto on Robinhood, centralized exchange. Well, now they have exclusive mortgage rates and they are entering into the home loan game. So Robinhood, also, we've talked about how Coinbase is trying to become a bank. We got into that a little bit in the intro video, as you saw there. We'll get deeper into that. But this could be big because Robinhood is going into mortgages. And if you take a look at this, exclusive mortgage rates get a rate at least 0.75% lower than your average. So as we've been talking about on this channel for years and years and years, the new layer of finance is coming. It's blockchain. It's coming to you on your doorsteps. You are a genius for being here because you already knew this was coming and you're already involved. Now, on some positive news, we talked about this week, Jerome Powell. Trump wanted him to reduce the interest rate by a full point. Unfortunately, he left the interest rate, the federal funds rate, at 4.5. Well, just in today, Federal Reserve Governor Chris Waller says that the Fed should cut rates as soon as next month, so in July, and President Trump's tariffs won't significantly boost inflation. Jerome Powell keeps on saying that the tariffs are what's holding back the economy and it's creating inflation in the future, blah, blah, blah. But this gentleman right here, also member of the Federal Reserve, Chris Waller, says that we can go ahead and start rate reduction now. Now, after this news came out, it gave Trump some ammo, some firepower, and he came out and absolutely blasted on Jerome Powell. So as we can see here, he says, too late, Powell. That's what he calls Jerome Powell now because he was too late to raise interest rates in the past, and he's been too late to lower them is what he continues to say. But he complains about costs, much of which were produced by the Biden fake government. But he could do the biggest and best job for our country by helping the lower interest rates. And if he reduced them by the number that they should be, 1% to 2%, full percentage points there, that numbskull would be saving the United States of America up to $1 trillion per year. Now, let's not forget, though, ladies and gentlemen, Jerome Powell works for the Federal Reserve. That doesn't represent the United States. So he doesn't want, like in reality, he doesn't want to help Trump. He doesn't want to help America. He wants to help the Federal Reserve. It's a for-profit entity. And so he doesn't want to lower rates because they're raking in, as it says here, trillions of dollars. So I fully understand that my strong criticism of him makes it more difficult for him to do what he should be doing, which is lowering rates. But I've tried it all different ways. I've been nice. I've been neutral. I've been nasty. And I've been nice, neutral. Didn't work. He's a dumb guy. And it's obvious a Trump hater who should have never been there. I listened to someone that I shouldn't have listened to. And Biden shouldn't have reappointed him. We have virtually no inflation. Our economy is doing really well. And we will soon be doing with the tremendous tariff income coming in and factories being built all over the country better than this has ever been done before. If he was concerned about inflation or anything else, then all he has to do is bring the rate down so we can benefit on interest costs and raise it in the future when and if there's other elements happen, which I doubt they will. Don't say that you think there will be inflation sometime in the future because there isn't now. If there is, raise the rates. We should be at the top of the attached list, not the bottom. I don't know why the board doesn't override this total and complete moron. Maybe, just maybe, I'll have to change my mind about firing him, but regardless, his term ends shortly. So the battle continues. As I've been telling you guys, unfortunately, Jerome Powell is trying to spite Donald Trump, and it's obvious because Trump has a great point here. If for some reason you lower interest rates and then you start to see inflation start to rise again, then you can rise interest rates. It's not that hard to get through your head to understand that. But when there is for-profit entities such as the Federal Reserve trying to make money off of the United States because they are the ones charging us the interest on our debt, then obviously they don't want to reduce those rates because they're making more money as they keep it higher. But now we have someone coming to Trump's defense in a way that is also a member of the Federal Reserve, and he says that it should definitely be reducing rates. So let me know down in the comment section, do you think we should reduce rates? And if so, by how many points? And breaking today, over $200 million was liquidated from the crypto market in the past 60 minutes when this came out 5 hours ago on that extreme dump. We will be getting into the charts here in just a little while, but it was an absolute bloodbath in the crypto markets this morning, unfortunately. And you know what's interesting? If you lower the interest rates, more liquidity comes into the markets. Retail investors start to pump the markets along with all of these institutions that have been buying. Like we're seeing with the ETF tracker that it's continuing to be billions and billions and billions of dollars flowing in every week into the ETFs. That's institutional purchases, regular retail investors, myself and you, regular people on the streets that want to buy from exchanges are not getting in the game as heavily right now because interest rates are high, money is expensive, and people are struggling. Also, as I talked about in the beginning, in the intro of the video, Bloomberg raises approval odds for spot XRP, Dogecoin, and Cardano now to 90%. So let's deep dive into this. The SEC likely views cryptocurrencies, Litecoin, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano, and others as commodities. In a social media post Friday, Seifert said that he and Balkunis have raised their odds for the vast majority of crypto ETF approvals to 90% or higher, citing very positive engagement from the SEC. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to think about this right now. We talked about the ETFs in the beginning of this video. We talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, what if XRP, Solana, Litecoin, and Dogecoin are also in that category where these big, giant conglomerates can start selling to their customers XRP, Solana? What do you think is going to happen to the price at that point? So let's take a look at the actual firms that have filed. So we'll take a look at XRP, obviously Grayscale, Bitwise, Canary, 21 Shares, Wisdom Tree, CoinShares, and Franklin. We just did a video on the Franklin one just a couple of days ago because unfortunately that did get kicked down the road. That one was slated to be approved on the 16th. It got pushed into the future. So when it comes to the first file dates, they happen on January 30th, 2025. Is the 19B4 acknowledged? Yes, it is. Final SEC deadline is October 17th, 2025. Does the SEC currently view it as a commodity? Likely, yes. CFTC's regulated futures? Yes. And a 95% approval rating. Also Solana and Litecoin in that scale as well. Seifert noted, though, timing of approvals and launch of spot products remains unclear. He speculated the process could take several months and may extend beyond October. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, which trades under IBIT, has been the most successful product in the ETF space. In June, it surpassed $70 billion in assets, recording 31 straight days of inflows. As Balkunis noted, IBIT reached that milestone in just 341 days. Can you imagine $70 billion worth of liquidity flowing into the XRP charts in less than a year? While demand for other crypto assets could eventually outpace Ethereum, altcoins are unlikely to erode Bitcoin's dominance in the ETF market anytime soon. That is totally fine. We just want to be included, ladies and gentlemen. But nevertheless, investors are keeping a close eye on several proposals, such as Franklin Templeton's XRP and SOL ETFs, which were recently opened for public comment by the SEC. So as we know, the official launch of an ETF did happen in Canada for XRP. That's happened this week, which is really exciting. And more massive news for Coinbase happening today as well. Coinbase obtains regulatory license to offer crypto service across Europe. Now, as you've probably understood, in Europe, they have a new thing called MiCA compliance, and Coinbase's recent acquisition of a MiCA license from Luxembourg's CSSFF, enabling it to offer crypto services across all 27 EU countries, a move that leverages EU's new unified regulatory framework introduced in June 2023 to enhance market integrity and consumer protection. And we got a post here from digital asset investor Hidden Road and Ripple. It builds out the XRP infrastructure. We bought over 200 million XRP. Then coming into the US is just another step towards XRP usage in the US.
It's fantastic. Hidden Road has active OTC out of London. We're a Hidden Road client. We intend to support them as much as we can. It builds out the XRP infrastructure, the whole Ripple ecosystem. We truly believe in it. We'll see how it goes with the fast settlement and all that. So, and for us being a paper derivatives trader, we need multiple counterparties because when you're holding physical, there's no issue. You have physical, that's the asset. But when you're talking about paper and just money going back and forth, your counterparties get nervous, even your broker. So, if we buy whatever, I guess we bought, over 400 million or over 200 million of XRP. If we just held those physically, it's no problem. But if you're holding them in paper, somebody's got to give you that much credit, okay, or trust. Their balance sheet has to be dedicated towards in case of default on a 2X. there's big price movement, as everybody might know if they're watching those things every day. And so there's a lot of risk control that goes on. And so you need multiple counterparties. Having Hidden Road come in as a counterpart, now wholly owned by Ripple, that's, for us, it's a wonderful development. Them coming into the US is just another step towards XRP usage in the US.
So that's fantastic news, because as we continue to hear, these Asian countries are using XRP in the banking system. The United Arab Emirates is using XRP in their banking system. And there's a bunch of talks and partnerships with the United States, but they really haven't gotten on board with fully pushing back and forth and utilizing that liquidity. A Forbes headline that came out today as well: Trump confirms massive crypto price game changer as trillions predicted to hit Bitcoin market.